Welcome to the Sohn Hong Kong Investment Leader Conference. We've invited some of the best minds in the financial world to share their ideas and insights. Has the world changed, and by how much?
The world's already changed. That's what makes investing so awesome. The world changes all the time.
To say that this time is different would truly be an understatement. I don't think we've ever seen a crisis like this.
What does this mean for the future of technology? What does this mean for the future of travel? What does this mean for the future of some businesses? And what does this effectively mean for the future even of some countries?
I think it's obvious to everybody that the world has changed.
And from a macroeconomic standpoint, we've seen developments that we've never experienced before. We've seen years of employment gains get wiped out in a couple of months.
Our lifestyle is totally different. A lot of things have changed.
For example, the digitalization, the idea of home working, the amount of time that people spend on the internet or on social media.
Telemedicine become a more efficient and safer way. E-commerce and food delivery become more widely adopted.
A lot of these trends can be identified, and they will probably be made faster because of COVID-19.
As investors and entrepreneurs and innovators, we need to use this time to assess who we're going to be and how we're going to think about the future.
What asset class, market, or sector are you most attracted to? Where do you see opportunities?
I think there are a lot of asset classes and industries that are going to be affected by this. Clearly, we're pivoting more towards distressed, where we're finding more opportunities in distressed credit, a lot outside the US as well, where there's less of a wall of money to support asset prices. Also finding a lot of opportunities in capital structures amid a lot of dislocations. And I anticipate that there will be a lot of opportunities in sovereign, municipal, and quasi-sovereign debt outside the US from the strain of the pandemic on state and local and government budgets.
You had three choices basically. You could either buy deep value assets, so for example stocks of companies that are being really battered by this crisis, airlines, energy related, transport, hospitality. Those segments generated extremely low valuation. So an approach could have been, you know what, this is too cheap, I'm going to go and buy it.
The most interesting risk reward over the last 2.5 months for our firm has really been in the IG markets. We have not seen the IG markets dislocate like this since the GFC. The spread widening was very large and very quick. And in our view, when IG markets dislocate like that, you have to be pretty quick in getting set, for a potential recovery.
We think equity is still the most attractive asset class if you have a long-term horizon compared to fixed income. I think globally, e-commerce still has a long way to go. And this pandemic actually facilitated the adoption of e-commerce globally.
So I decided to buy some companies where I think there would be a short-term hit probably to the company's earnings, but this hit would not be catastrophic. You could probably see a situation whereby the company would have a better competitive position in the future, and probably many people would be using the product or the service more. Right? One obvious example is, for example, a company like Facebook or Google.
Is this the time to put your money to work?
So what's the right time to invest? Well, the right time to invest is when it's yours, when there's blood on the street, and even if it's your own. And so there's been fantastic opportunities. There remain to be fantastic opportunities, and we're bottom-up investors, so we remain to find really great single security, single situational investors. At the time, on March 16th, there was some great derivative as well as index opportunities. Today, there remain some great single name opportunities. And so when's the time to invest? Well, I think the general answer is in some individual names right now.
I would say if you find stocks of companies that you really like, that you think have powerful competitive advantages, which are managed by a talented management team, which are in an industry which does not face an existential threat or a quasi-existential threat from COVID. And if you can buy it at a price that you think is way below what you think the company is worth, as long as you're willing and able to withstand a lot of volatility in the next 12 months.
whenever you have a good idea, and that idea is not short-term, has a multi-year secular trend behind it, and you have a long-term investment horizon.
IG spreads, in our view, determine basically the discount rate for a lot of risk assets. They have a huge impact on financial conditions, and as a result, policymakers are very focused on it. We've seen the BOJ and the ECB support the IG market in their respective countries aggressively over the last 5+ years. And in our view, policymakers would once again focus on the IG markets and make sure those markets traded well and that the spreads recovered to more normalized levels.
We obviously think that this is not a time to slow down investing in healthcare. It's a time to speed it up.
I think this is a very good reminder for all to understand that there truly can be events that are exceptional in nature and that we have to be open-minded and be prepared to pivot and change our views when material events occur.
Why Sohn and the Karen Leung Foundation?
Karen Leung Foundation is a foundation that's very close to our hearts. It was established in memory of one of my colleagues, Karen Leung, who passed away in October 2012. The Karen Leung Foundation was set up for the purpose of funding and promoting education, prevention, research, and treatment of gynecological cancers.
We're proud to be supporting Sohn and KLF in its fight against gynecological and pediatric cancers.
I'm really honored to be able to support the Karen Leung Foundation.
Cancer is our common enemy, no matter what religious background, no matter what cultural background you come from.
People probably see non-profit contribution as some kind of a luxury. But the idea of giving at a time like this, it's counterintuitive, but actually makes you feel a lot better.
Now is more important than ever to continue to support and even increase your support.
3 of our 12 health moonshots are ending cancer, children's health, and women's health. And so we're on this fight with you.
Go ahead, be generous. That will create good karma.
You could just imagine a little bit how cancer and how cervical cancer affects women and their entire families. And that happens year in, year out, with or without COVID. There is no time not to support causes like the Karen Leung Foundation. And yes, around COVID is a time to dig in. See you guys in September.